guys there? What's going on, everybody? Great to see everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Breakfast with the Brookses is going live in a few moments. I hope you guys are doing well. Do me a huge favor. Put in the chat where you're tuning in from, what city, what the temperature is. We're in Virginia Beach. Things are going really well. And I'm just super excited, y'all. Super excited. And we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you guys who weren't here last week, we started a brand new series on boundaries that we are going to pick up where we left off last week. Part 2 is going down today. You definitely want to check it out. Do me a favor, if you're here already, say good morning. I see that we've got 2 people in, but I don't know that you're here if you don't comment. Great to see everybody. We'll be going live in about 3.5 minutes or so. And super excited to have everybody on. I hope y'all ready. Today's going to be a great show. I am going to be taking my sea moss live on camera. I ain't never did sea moss. Somebody told me it's not the most pleasant tasting thing in the world. So we'll see what my reaction looks like in just a few moments. I'm on this 21-day no sugar detox. And today is day 3. I'm doing pretty good, actually. So I'm excited. Sheree's going to be joining me in a little bit, guys. Do me a favor, share this out. If you're not yet a subscriber to our channel, please do me a favor, click that subscribe button. Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys in a few. Great morning, everybody. What's up, Stephanie? 51 degrees in Lusby. Dear Jesus. We're going to be starting in about 2 minutes. Hey, Nikkei, great to see everybody. Do me a favor, guys. Share this out. We're going to be getting started in just a few moments. Breakfast with the Brookses. We're going live in a few minutes. Trying to get ourselves set up here. Getting our coffee together. The table's I'm going to be trying my sea moss. If you've ever had sea moss, do me a favor, tell me what it tastes like, because I'm going to be trying it for the first time. They say it gives you a whole bunch of energy. It restores a whole bunch of things in your body. I'm on this 21-day no sugar detox, and so it has got me out here, y'all. We're trying to figure it all out. Great to see everybody. Is it cold where you at? 54 degrees here in Virginia Beach. That is not warm. Got you, baby. 46 degrees in Upper Marlboro, dear Lord.
Guys, I'll be joining you guys in just a second. Hang tight. We'll be coming on live in
a minute. What's going on, Faith? St. Leonard, Maryland. What's the temperature in your neck? It was 48 degrees, dear Lord. What's going on? Appreciate you guys for jumping in. We're going to get started here in just one moment. Great morning, everybody. started here in just 1 second, guys. Appreciate y'all hopping on. Do me a favor, share this out. Tag a friend, share the love. What's going on, Jeff? Good morning, brother. We're going to be talking about boundaries, guys, picking up where we left off last week. Super excited to be back. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. Your boy going to be trying sea moss for the very first time. This is going to be interesting. I don't know what it tastes like. They tell me that it's not the best tasting stuff in the world. Clarksburg, Maryland, representing. What's the temperature up that way, Jeff? Good to see everybody. We'll be here in just 1 quick second. Trying to get ourselves together this morning. Running just a little bit late. I was up half the night. I drank a gallon of water yesterday. I didn't finish till 9 o'clock at night. Whew. Made for an interesting night, that's for sure. Good morning, good morning. Jackson, you gonna behave yourself today? Running around, y'all. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. We're going to make some adjustments here, babe. I can tell you right now in terms of our site. So just be prepared. What's going on, everybody? Great morning. How's everybody doing? Y'all good?
Good morning,
Good
guys.
morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to have to adjust a few things here. Lighting is a little bright. Give me a second, Cherie. I know. No, it's not nice tasting. Real quick, I'm going to just adjust some of these
I volunteered to taste it with them, to do it with them.
Yeah, Cherie volunteered, so this is going to be funny.
Can you guys hear us?
Can y'all hear us okay? Yeah.
Did you switch the mic back?
I did not. Hold on 1 second. Thank you. All right.
Now you guys should be able to hear me better.
Really well. Really well. So.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Where's Jackson?
He's running around.
Okay. Good morning. It is a chilly
54 degrees.
54 degrees here in Virginia Beach. Fall has finally arrived.
Fall is here.
Fall is here.
Fall is here. So listen, real quick, guys. Couple of things going on this morning. If you are here for the very first time, I want you to put hashtag first time in the chat. For those of you who don't know us, my name's Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach. This lovely light-skinned young lady right here is
Cherie Brooks Jr. I'm looking. I left the dog treats on the counter in the back.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. You're stuck. Come on.
I'm Cherie Brooks Jr., author, speaker, and strategic relationship coach.
She is a strategic relationship coach. Guys, that's a whole thing. If you guys are here for the very first time, put hashtag first timer. We're going to be talking about some things that I think is going to help many of you guys out. We'll be back in about 30 seconds or so. So y'all make sure y'all share this out. And boundaries. If you don't know how to draw the line in your relationship, we're going to teach you and talk about some things today that's going to really help you out.
And if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you'll get notifications going forward. And we'll be back in just a minute.
The broadcast with a friend this morning, y'all. If you haven't, do that right now. We're gonna come back in 1 quick second. Just wanted to make sure we have everything set up and ready to go. I hope you guys are excited. We'll be here for a few minutes this morning talking about boundaries. For those of you guys who struggle in that area in your relationships, this is going to help you a little bit. If you don't and you know somebody who does, you need to make sure you're tagging them and getting them on the line, because we're going to talk about a few things that are going to help you. Particularly if you are a couple. We're really going to kind of hone in on couple relationships this week, and we'll be moving along in this subject throughout the month. So you guys make sure you stay tuned. We'll be back in just one quick second. Welcome to Breakfast with the Brookses. We're here every Saturday morning, 8 a.m., live on YouTube. Do me a favor, if you've not subscribed to the channel, do so. And we would love to have you come rock with us. That way you'll get the notifications when we're going live, the different videos that we're putting up, and the whole 9 yards. I'm waiting for Cherie to get back in place, and as soon as she gets here, we will be getting started this morning. Do me a favor, husbands, if you and your wife struggle with connecting when it comes to boundaries, you need to get her on the show this morning. Let her sit down and check it out, because we're going to help her out. Same thing for wives, and we're super excited. So we're back. Super excited to have everybody here. Welcome to Breakfast with the Brookses. Good morning, everybody. Baby, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm moving a little slow this morning. I wasn't feeling good yesterday, and still feeling a little, I think it's the change in the weather.
Okay. Well,
but just in case.
Just in case, you're gonna take your little stuff. Yeah, I love this. You know, these days, man, they got stuff to knock out a little bit of everything before you. What do they call oxacillion, whatever that is, ocillion? I can't never pronounce the name of it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
These little things.
So yeah, hopefully whatever you got, you don't spread your love over this way. Jackson, what are you doing? Oh, you got your treats.
Yeah,
treat. Is that what it is? So she's trying to keep him busy with his treats. I did.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me. So we're having to keep switching the microphones back and forth. So, guys, real quick, if you were here last week, put yes in the chat. If you were here last week, put yes in the chat. Hey, Nikkei, what's up, Carla? What's going on? So here's the deal. This morning, we're going to be trying sea moss for the very first time before we get into today's show. I'm not even going to smell it. I know where it comes from. It comes from the sea. It's in the name, right? And
are we supposed to do a teaspoon or a tablespoon?
A tablespoon, babe.
A tablespoon?
1 to 2 daily. That's what the instructions said. Phyllis sent it to me.
It said
I'm
tablespoon?
I'm positive. Cherie is checking. She brought 1 teaspoon and 1 tablespoon for y'all, because she's sitting up here trying to fact check. Tablespoon. I told you.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. So, and she said 1 to 2 per day.
I'm doing 1.
So some people take this as a capsule. It's actually like a gel, and so I don't know if you can see the consistency of that thing. It's kind of weird looking, but yeah.
It's like gel.
It's like gel. It's like
hair gel.
Yeah. So here we go.
We're gonna. Oh.
Okay.
Wanna do yours first?
I'm gonna do mine first. Here we go, y'all. It wasn't bad.
Okay, give me.
You want to share mine?
Sure. You went first, so I'm the one that's sick. Or do we want to double dip though?
Well,
I'll do it this way.
Okay.
I'll do it here and put it in here.
She must have put some lemon or something in here, because it doesn't taste like the sea. Carla says she loves sea moss. So this is something new. I'm on a 21-day. Well, Cherie is kind of going with me. She's modifying hers a little bit because of her health. But I'm on a 21-day no sugar detox.
You can put the top on it.
Huh?
You can put the top back on it.
This is not bad. I'm going to take another one.
No, just do 1 the first day. See how you do. I don't need you bouncing off the walls all day.
They say this stuff gives you a ton of energy. You heard it's good and so, hey, Tiara, good to see you. Tiara, we miss you. It doesn't have a taste. Stop licking it like that. Go ahead and put it all in your mouth. Go ahead and take it to the head. Go on, go for it. Stop, Jax. Jackson is scratching my legs. It's not bad.
No, it's the consistency.
It's real thick, almost like a jelly or a gel or
That was fun.
That was fun. That was different. So the only reason we took it here is because we woke up late. So I still have my coffee just in case.
She said they use theirs in smoothies.
Smoothies, yes. So
maybe I'll do it that way going forward.
A lot of people put it in smoothies, but I'm not drinking sugar, so I don't know what kind of smoothie I would put it in, right? So that's my challenge. I'm taking it straight. So anyway, guys, welcome to Breakfast with the Brookses. If you were here last week, put yes, me in the chat. Put me in the chat. Put me, yes, you can. Just a little bit. Yep. Put me in the chat. Put me in the chat if you were here last week. Put me in the chat. I don't know if you, like me, struggle with where you should draw the line in relationships. Growing up, I was the kind of person that would get very familiar very quickly. And I don't know if you've met people where it's like, yo, like, can you kind of slow down a little bit? Back up off me. That's a DC thing. Back up off me, shorty. I struggle with that because I was always a touchy-feely, very physical touch kind of a person, hugger, all that kind of stuff. And it just wasn't kind of appropriate, I guess, for a lot of people. Or it certainly didn't make people feel like they could, it's like, yo, that's just a little too much. And so one of the things that I learned to do was I learned that there are boundaries involved in relationships. And when we talk about boundaries, guys, we're going to talk about it today from a standpoint of what does it look like to fix broken fences. Put that in the chat. Fixing broken fences. Put that in the chat.
And when it comes to relationship, when you have a broken fence, it basically means you guys have trampled on each other's boundaries. The boundaries have been broken. Partially, in most cases, it's because they were never clearly defined.
Yep.
And so the other party finds themselves trampling upon them, and the frustration comes when you realize that somebody has basically ran over your boundaries. So think about you have a fence in your yard, and somebody just drives in your yard and knocks the fence down, and they're sitting there like, what?
Keep it moving.
What did I do?
Right.
My bad, I ain't do it on purpose. Okay, that's fine. You apologize, but it needs to be repaired.
Right.
And it's going to cost somebody to repair it. And in relationships, oftentimes, the person that violates or breaks the fence or crosses the boundary, often, because they're not aware of it, they aren't then willing to do the work to help to repair it.
Right. So if you've ever been in a relationship where the lines get blurred, I want you to throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. When I say blurred lines, in other words, you start to wonder, like, what is my responsibility? Have you ever been in a relationship where you are taking on more responsibility than you probably should? Yes. And you're not quite sure where you start and the other person finish. Parents, you go through this a lot. It's a situation where
needs to put their hands up.
Everybody as a parent needs to put their hands up, because we've all gone through this where you are taking on more responsibility where your children are concerned than you should. And what it does is, in essence, it frustrates you on a large scale. And the reason why is because they never seem to, quote, take responsibility. Well, if you are in a situation where you are taking more responsibility and you're doing more than you should, here's what I've found. People will let you.
Right.
Let me say that again. If you're in a relationship and you are doing the most, you are doing all the heavy lifting. If there's ever a conversation to be had about something difficult, you're the one to start it. If there's ever a situation where there needs to be something that's brought up, you're the one to introduce the subject. If there's an apology to be had, you're often the first one to make it. And you feel like, why am I always the one? I feel like I'm the only one doing any work in this relationship.
Right, and it often happens, depending on your temperament. If you are a people person, if you're a people pleaser, oftentimes it happens for people who are flamingo, or either you're a chameleon.
Yes.
And we've talked about the different temperaments, but basically, if you're a people person, if you're the type of person who cares about people, oftentimes you will take on the responsibilities of other people's stuff because of your concern for them. But it often causes you to get overwhelmed because you're doing way more than you're supposed to. You're inserting yourself in places where you're not supposed to.
Exactly.
And you're alleviating them of their responsibilities, and then you get frustrated because you feel like I give all the time, but nobody, and oftentimes people don't ask you to do it.
Absolutely.
You just do it on your own because of who you are. But because there are no clear boundaries, you don't know where to stop.
Right.
And most people will let you keep doing for them.
Absolutely.
Will let you keep giving to them.
Absolutely.
They're not going to say, "Hey, no, don't do that for me anymore."
Right.
Stop. You don't have to take care of that for me. Most people will take that.
Right.
Not that they're being malicious or that they're being mean and doing it, but if there are no clear boundaries defined, you'll find yourself constantly crossing over those lines, and then it can lead to resentment. It can lead to bitterness. It can lead 100%. To a lot of problems in your relationship.
100%. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to understand, we're going to start with a working definition of what we call a boundary. A boundary is the demarcation or the line. It's a property line. Jackson, you're doing the most. So he's not observing his boundaries, and so therefore he's trying to figure it out. Yeah, you got him on that treat thing, and so now he won't go play. That's what it is. So at any rate, here's what I want you guys to understand. The boundary is a property line. I want you to think of like a fence around your house. Mm-hmm. The fence is designed to show where your property ends and the other neighbor or the street begins, right? Oftentimes, if you have something that goes wrong and you live in the city and it's on your property, sometimes you're wondering what part belongs to the city so they can come fix the issue. Let's say it's a down tree. They often are going to look at what side of the property line is that tree on. Mm-hmm. If the tree is on your side, you're responsible for picking it up, cleaning it up, getting rid of it if it's a problem. If it's on their side, they are responsible for that, right? Well, the challenge in relationships is, guys, is that there's no clear line.
Right.
There's no clear demarcation. And so as a result of that, what winds up happening is that you wind up clearing people's trees when it's their job to do that. Does that make sense?
Cutting your neighbor's grass.
Yes, yes, yes.
There's no fence. And so you find yourself all over in their yard cutting their grass. And then they get mad at you because you done cut it shorter than they want it cut. But that's a whole... Yeah,
that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. So when it comes to relationship, let me translate that into relationships really quickly for you. And then we're going to give you 3 things today that you need to be thinking about, particularly in coupled relationships. Mm-hmm. So today we're going to kind of focus on couples. We're going to deal with 3 things that are responsibilities that most people get blurred in relationship. Number 1 is feelings. I want you to put that in the chat. Feelings.
Right.
Number 2 is attitudes. And number 3 is beliefs. Put that in the chat. Feelings, attitudes, and beliefs. Number 1 is feelings, and we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to go to the other 2 in a minute. When we're talking about feelings, guys, I want you guys to listen to this very carefully. Feelings should neither be ignored nor placed in charge. Feelings should be neither ignored nor placed in charge. What do I mean when I say ignored nor placed in charge? Oftentimes when you are feeling, quote, some type of way, I don't like that terminology because it doesn't give definition to what you mean. Mm-hmm. Feelings should never be ignored. Faith, appreciate you putting that in the chat. Listen to me, Tiara. If you are feeling something, that's a sign that there's something there. Mm-hmm. Okay? Feelings are designed to be sort of warning signs, if you will, or they let you know something is going on. If you were going down the street and you were coming up to on an intersection and it didn't have any traffic lights, what would happen is you wouldn't know when it's your turn to go. Mm-hmm. So you need to have a traffic light in order to be able to know when is your turn, right? Feelings are like that a lot of times. If you're feeling bothered, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling excited, those feelings should not be ignored.
Right. And oftentimes I think what happens in relationship when it comes to boundaries is that people's feelings, they're not validated. And so...
That's right. That's
because good. If you're upset, you're feeling upset about something, you're bothered, whatever. And when you express that to your partner, first off, oftentimes we take it personal.
Sure.
Instead of realizing they get to feel how they feel.
Yes.
That you get to feel how you feel about whatever the situation is. Those are your feelings. You get to control that. But you also have to realize that I'm not responsible for your feelings.
Right.
Now, I may have done something
that... we get ready to get into it, y'all.
That you didn't like.
Right.
But you get to control how you feel about that. And what I mean is you get to control whether you... you may feel angry. You may feel disappointed. You may feel sad. I didn't make you angry. I didn't make you sad. I didn't make you even disappointed. I did something that may have disappointed you. I may have did something that caused you some discomfort. But your feelings are yours, and whatever you feel is valid, even if I don't agree with it. So I may feel like I did something that it's not that big a deal.
Right.
And so you're all bothered, hot and bothered about it. And I'm like, just get over it. I mean, what? I said I was sorry.
Right.
What? No. You're allowed to have your feelings. You're allowed to express your feelings. And I think that oftentimes in relationships, the other party does not validate the other person's feelings. And therefore, you're saying that their feelings don't matter.
So let me give you guys a quick example. So Cherie may forget to do something that I asked her to do, and I become upset. I am upset because of how I feel. Right. She's not going to necessarily be upset. So it may go down like this. Babe, I thought I asked you to make me a cup of coffee. Where's my coffee? We got to get ready for the show. Oh, my God.
I forgot. I was running around. I had a whole bunch of stuff to do this morning.
Okay, so now she says, I'm sorry, I forgot, I apologize, or whatever the case may be. But then I get to own what happens from there.
Right.
I get to own if I allow that feeling to ramp up to anger to the point to where now I can't talk or I don't want to engage her. Or I get to own the fact that, you know what? That's the way I feel. It's okay for me to feel disappointed, but she didn't make me feel that way. I'm disappointed because I didn't wake up early enough to make my own coffee. I therefore asked her to do it, and then she didn't have time. And so why would I be upset with her? I should be upset with me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Taking responsibility for your own feelings.
It's called taking responsibility for your own feelings. Well, that in of itself, guys, is a thought process. And when you go through that sort of thought process in your head, what happens is that you will come to the conclusion that you are the owner or the driver of your own car, right? Your feelings are yours. And when you validate those feelings for yourself, it causes you not to ramp up, not to now get upset and bothered with people unnecessarily, and not to, most importantly, put on her what is really yours to own. Does that make sense?
Right.
So I want you guys to understand that when we're talking about feelings, we're saying that they shouldn't be ignored nor placed in charge. Right. Let me deal with that little piece right there before we move on. And every time I move my hand, Jackson thinks I'm playing. So I have to learn to talk without my hands. Because my voice already makes you.
What is wrong with your
What is going on?
You hungry? Go eat your food.
You hungry?
Oh gosh.
You start. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yes, I'm okay. I think.
Jackson is.
You got him started on them treats. I think he is wound up.
Yeah, you want to drink some water?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So. What were we talking about? We were talking about.
Yeah, I need you to stay focused.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm not feeling good today.
It's okay. So when I talk about that, guys, one of the things, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. I think it just went down the wrong throat. So what happens is, guys, typically what happens when you do not honor your feelings, nor do you, or you allow them to be in charge. I don't know if you've ever met people who their feelings run them. Their feelings actually run the whole show. And so when they're angry, the truth of the matter is that now it's sort of taken on a life of its own. And so now their anger shuts the whole community down. It shuts everybody out. It makes people feel like they're not valued because your feelings are in charge. Here's what I'm going to submit to you about feelings. Feelings shouldn't be ignored, but oftentimes you should not put 100% trust in them either.
Right.
And the reason why is because they change too quickly. Does that make sense? When you begin to allow when you trust your feelings to the point that they become in charge, now logic cannot come into the room.
Right.
I hope that makes sense. If my feeling of anger is in charge, logic will not enter into the room because it's running the show.
Right. And I think that, and I talked about this before, that, the other party should validate your feelings. And what I mean by that, it doesn't mean that I'm going to necessarily let your feeling of being upset dictate or run me, but I should be like, you get to feel, I understand you're upset. I understand you're bothered. I understand that you're hurt. So your feelings are valid. What you're feeling is real. I don't want to use the word but at the same time, it's not my responsibility how you feel. I understand this is how you're feeling about something.
Right.
And I can see how you feel that way.
Right.
My intention was not to cause you that.
And I'm sorry.
And
end of the story. Right. And that's the end of it.
Right.
So
that way you're not taking ownership of it because unless it was your intention to caused them that.
Exactly.
But in most cases, it's not the person's intention. And so you recognize, you acknowledge that they feel that way, express to them that wasn't your intention. This is what I was trying to express. Jackson, you're going to have to get down because you were doing the most this morning.
Yep. Go ahead.
So that way you're not taking advantage of, you're not taking ownership of their feelings, but you are validating that what they feel is real. That's no different than like with children. A child can get upset or angry, and one thing that parents will often do is like, you know, what's the saying? You want to be upset? I'm gonna give you something to be upset about.
Right. You want to cry? I'm gonna give you something to cry for.
They're crying. They're upset about something. Their feelings are hurt. Whatever.
Right. Where's his rope?
He got it on the floor.
Okay. Come on, Jack.
So whatever it is, you know, what parents will do when we make that statement, we're basically saying, you know, whatever you're feeling ain't that big a deal. I'm going to give you something that will really make you feel this way. That's not validating their feelings. They get to feel how they feel. If they're upset or they're bothered or they're angry, they get to be angry. That's okay. But they have to learn how to manage their emotions. Exactly. And that's the thing that as parents, we don't do with children. We don't teach them how to manage, and then we turn into adults that don't know how to manage their emotions.
Exactly.
And so we wind up marrying that person that didn't grow up learning how to manage their emotions.
100%. And if you're not careful, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
No, 100%. If you're not careful, if you get into attempting to manage someone else's emotions, they will let you.
Right.
See, so right now, let me give you an example. Jackson is on 100 this morning for whatever reason. And I am battling in my mind not to allow him to dictate my emotion. Because of frustration, I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to give you guys great content. I'm trying to be in the moment. He is vying for that time. Mm-hmm. I have a choice to allow him to push me over the edge because of his behavior, and we're going to get into that in a minute, or to stay in the moment. Mm-hmm. It's a discipline thing. It's a preference thing. You guys are more valuable to me right now in terms of staying in the moment than my emotions are to allow me to become bothered and fussy. And now so I said, well, where's his rope? Let me try and get him a little excited. So I'm going to take his rope, and as he's trying to jump up on us, I'm just dangling the rope so he plays with the rope instead of scratch my legs because I got on shorts today. Right? That's what you don't know. And so if I were to lash out, it's because he scratched me and all he's doing is trying to play. He's trying to get my attention. I understand. That's him communicating. Right. He doesn't understand, well, now's not the time. Because when he hears our voice, he thinks we're talking to him. Right. When he sees our hands moving, he thinks we're saying, come play. Well, that's not the case. So when you're in a relationship, what you have to do is you have to value that person in a way that allows you to stay in the moment and not allow your feelings or your emotions to dictate the pace. Right. Because if that happens at that particular point, now you're in trouble.
Right.
So I wanted you guys to understand the difference. We talked about, I know the first thing we said was feelings. I want to move on really quickly, babe, to attitudes and beliefs a little bit. And the reason why is because they quickly follow feelings. Anybody have a person that they're upset with you and then we deem that you got an attitude, right?
Why you got an attitude?
Why you got an attitude? Why you posturing like that? Well, I mean, why you upset with me? And we often do this even with children where they're not allowed to be upset.
Right.
According to us.
Right.
And if they are, they have to do it and not have an attitude.
Right. Fix your face.
Fix your face.
Fix your face.
Fix your face. We ain't here for all that. Right?
I just gave you, okay, I'm going to use the child. I just gave you a spanking. And now you're supposed to walk around
excited about the rest of the day.
You can't walk around like you got to, let me spank you and see how pleasant your face gonna look at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And I think that we don't realize that things, you know, when a person's emotions are off or when they're upset or they're bothered about something, it's going to be reflected in their body language. It's going to be reflected in their attitude. And that's not a bad thing as long as they respect the boundaries.
Exactly.
And, you know, there are boundaries. So going back to, I don't know how I keep going back to children. It's just so much easier to talk about kids with this. With a child, so say you have to discipline your child. they get to be upset and bothered that they got disciplined. But what they don't get to do is the boundary is you don't get to stomp off. You don't get to go slam the door. You don't now get to cuss under your breath at me, because those are boundaries.
Right.
Now, you can be upset. You can go sit in the corner. You can mope.
Yep.
You can go in your room and be quiet. You can sit over in the corner and
be distant.
You get to do those things. But what you don't get to do, there's a boundary. You don't get to go storming off, stomping your feet. You don't get to walk through my house slamming doors. You don't get to ignore me in the sense that if I call you and ask you to come, you don't come.
Right.
You still have to respond. You still have to be respectful. Those are boundaries. But in relationships, we feel like if we get into it, if we have a disagreement, you don't get to now be upset about that. You can't, oh, I need my space. Oh, so now you need your space? Oh, so it's like that?
Yeah.
Oh, so now we not good? I mean, we was just talking about that.
Right. Oh, so we ain't good now.
So you're going to have an attitude the rest of the day?
Right.
Give them a minute.
Absolutely.
Give them time to work through their emotions, get anybody that gets called on the carpet for something, you're going to feel that. Whatever it is, good, bad, or indifferent, you're going to feel something. We're human. We have feelings. Give that person time to process that. Don't expect that you're going to come at somebody and then immediately they're going to turn on a dime in the sense that, I mean, a minute later, everything is good. No, give them time.
So let me just really quickly, baby, because we're running out of time. I want to kind of talk a little bit about these attitudes. But Sharia is exactly right. People, human beings, need time. They need time to process stuff. They need time to calm down. They need time to think about what it is that they're thinking about. And when we're talking about attitudes, guys, I want y'all to hear this. Attitudes have to do with your orientation towards something, meaning how you see stuff. When you talk about orienting you, that's actually a navigating term. Mm-hmm. When you orient yourself to something, you're positioning yourself to something. So, for instance, if I was going north, I would orientate my compass towards north.
Right.
I'm going to align it towards north. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, attitudes have to do with everything about how you see stuff, right? Mm-hmm. That is mine to control. That belongs to me. So the way I see things are different than the way you see things.
Right.
That's why Sharia and I have learned, and it's a skill set. It takes time, and we talk about this in our MAPS Relationship Academy. We actually take people through how to do these things, and that is, you have got to learn to understand that when it comes to your attitude, it's really based upon how you see the world. Mm-hmm. So I can agree to disagree with her and not be bothered with her because I can agree that I see it from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't make me right or her wrong. It just means it's not the way I see it. Mm-hmm. But the way I see it doesn't have to bleed over to making her see it my way. Does that make sense, guys? And I need you guys to understand this. So, one, attitudes have to do with your orientation towards something. It's the stance that you take towards others, whether that is the stance you take towards others in your relationship, what you do for a living, the kinds of things that matter to you, if it's social injustice or whatever the case may be, it's your stance. And so I need you guys to understand that your attitude belongs to you. My position on something is mine. I don't have to put that off on her. And if she doesn't share the same view, I can respect and honor that without it becoming an issue.
Right. As you were talking about, I'm thinking about when you're talking about your stance on something, this is where people often draw a line in the sand.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to draw this line in the sand. So now you're erecting a boundary, but it's out of your emotion. It's coming based off of a feeling, of an attitude, instead of this really being a logical boundary.
Correct.
And this, we talked about this earlier, when your emotions are in play, your logic has left the room because you're not making a logical decision, you're making an emotional decision. And so you'll draw the line in the sand based off of what you're feeling at that moment. You're not going to do this. You're not going, but it's coming out of emotion.
Absolutely.
Instead of this being something that you guys have talked about, I prefer when we do this, that you have
Absolutely.
Realistic, logical boundaries, considering the other person, considering the relationship, considering everything. But when you're in your emotions and in your feelings, your attitudes will dictate to you to take a stance and to draw a line oftentimes, and it's based off of just how you're feeling. And that's not always a bad thing.
Yeah.
So like in situations like times where in today with the social unrest, there's an emotional surge that happened to people because of what's going on that has caused people to draw a line in the sand because of the emotion they feel. And so there are times when that's a good thing.
Yes.
Because it prompts action.
Yes.
It prompts good trouble.
Yes. 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 Yes.
It can prompt good trouble. So there are times when that's called for and it's appropriate. But in a relationship, oftentimes it's not appropriate because it's being fueled by emotion alone.
Absolutely.
And there's not an injustice per se. There's just emotion that's causing it.
Which brings me to this, and then we're going to talk about this, and we're going to let you guys go. I want to talk about beliefs for a little bit. Beliefs are anything that you accept as true. Mm-hmm. Period. Beliefs are anything that you accept as true. Some people believe in Santa Claus because they accept it as true. Some people believe in things that you would think is just completely outlandish. It's because they've accepted it as true. In a relationship, when I accept something as true, here's what becomes real tricky. I need y'all to listen to this, and we'll let you go. If Cherie says something to me that I don't like, and I accept it as true of me, it will produce a reaction in me that may not be authentic. Because I'm moving on the fact that I called it true and I believed it when it didn't really have to be true. There are people that call wrong right for so long that it stays wrong.
Right. It stays right.
It
stays wrong.
Exactly.
Right, because they believe
right.
It's
right. If a lie is spoken long enough,
it becomes
the truth in your mind.
Right.
Does that make sense? And so what I want you guys to understand, and that's absolutely right, Linda, when you erect boundaries out of emotions, the boundaries become faulty. Mm-hmm. This is where your fence becomes broken.
Right. It has no footers.
It has no foundation.
No foundation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was good.
That was good.
I'm waking up.
Yeah,
guys.
you're coming. You're coming. I hear you. I feel you. So what I want you guys to understand is that when it boils down to it, at the end of the day, I need to own my own attitudes, my own convictions, and my own feelings. I need to own my own beliefs. Mm-hmm. And I don't need to walk in a place where I put that off on you. I don't know if you've ever heard people say, you made me upset. I don't think it's possible for people to make you upset. I think what happens is people say things, you attach a narrative to it, and that narrative makes you upset. That's what I believe. I don't believe people have the power to make you upset. That's an awful lot of power for a human being.
Well, I think a lot of people give that power.
I 100% agree with that.
I am a firm believer. Nobody has that much power over me. I'm not giving that. Now, in the past, I have.
Yes.
But
there are times where I may slip into that.
Right, but when you allow somebody else's actions, their emotions, to dictate how you feel, how you respond, how you move, you've given them power. You've given them power over your peace. You've given them power to be able to dictate. I mean, it's like you're a puppet, and whatever they do, they're dangling you along. I don't believe that is healthy. I don't believe that that's how relationships should be. I think that, yes, we should consider the other person. We should consider their feelings. We should consider actions that they're doing in our choices and things that we do. But it should not run me.
Absolutely.
It should not. Because it should not be a cause and effect. Every time they do this, I'm going to do this. Every time they do this, I'm going to do that. Because then it should not be an automatic reaction.
Yep.
It should be something that I can, okay, so they did that. Okay, well, that ain't had nothing to do with me.
Yep.
They going to have to work through that.
Yep.
And
I'm going to give them the space to do it.
I'm going to give them space, and I'm going about my day.
Yep.
And do what I got to do and let them work through what they working through. But if because Glenn is upset, or he's had a bad day, or he's got an attitude, now, you okay? Is there anything I can do for you?
We don't do that. We don't do that around here.
Well, I was going. I'm gonna just sit here with you all day because I don't want you to be upset.
No, unhealthy.
No.
Guys, listen. Cherie will come home. I'll be bothered about something got nothing to do with her. She walk in the room and she say, "You okay?" I'm like, "Nah, not really. What's going on?" Well, this went down, that went down, the other went down. Is there anything I can do to help? No, not really.
Okay.
Okay, no worries. She goes about her business. That's it.
Right. I can't fix his emotions. I can't fix what he's feeling. If there's something tangible, something realistically I can do to fix the problem,
Yep.
then that's one thing. But I cannot fix or repair someone else's feelings.
Not at all. And when you try, you get into trouble. This is when you begin to cross boundaries. And before you know it, those lines become blurred. Next week, we're going to dig down into parenting relationships a little further. I know Cherie wanted to just gravitate toward that almost all conversations time, which is fine. And I get it. No, I get it, because it is a natural understanding of how boundaries work.
And it starts there.
It absolutely does. And I think that, unfortunately, babe, how we have been parented and then how we parent it has a direct effect on what adults we see today do and how they move.
Right. And if as children we didn't learn proper boundaries, that has an effect on our adult relationships.
All day.
And so it's something that should be taught as children. It's
Yep.
something that should, be modeled
Absolutely.
to us as children, how to erect boundaries. But in most cases, for a lot of us, we never learned that.
Absolutely.
And so we're trying to figure this out as adults. But if we can instill that in our children, if we can, teach them and demonstrate to them how to create and have healthy boundaries when they become adults, when they get into relationships, they won't have the challenges that many of us are having because we never learned how to properly do that.
No. What's up, George? Morning. Good to see you guys. Listen, for those of you guys who are not familiar, Cherie and I run an online relationship academy where we meet with couples, we meet with parents, we meet with singles who are trying to position themselves towards marriage, men, women, in 5 different group coaching platforms weekly. We want to invite you to come take this journey with us. We're going to be unpacking this subject matter, but making it relative to your specific situation. Here's one of the things that I don't get to do here on YouTube. I don't get to know you. I don't know your situation. I don't understand, if you put a comment in the chat, I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know what informs that.
Right.
This is a room and a space where we get to literally go back and forth and ask you questions and pull that apart and say, okay, if that's what you're going through, this is how you probably would want to handle that. So if you want to become a part of that, go to GlennPBrooksJr.com right here. GlennPBrooksJr.com. Sign up for a free discovery session, and we'll schedule an appointment with you, jump on a Zoom call for about 15 minutes just to see if we're a good fit. And I really, really, really want to make sure that we can help you if we can. Hey, Rain, good to see you, girl. Appreciate you for hopping on. So at the end of the day, here's what I'm going to challenge all of you guys. I want you to think of boundaries as property lines. Mm-hmm. It's where your emotions start and theirs begin. It's where your responsibility in relationship starts and theirs end. It's where your attitude starts and theirs. I want you to, and next week I can't wait because we're going to talk about how to get your control back. Some of us have given our control over to other people so that when they do things, it produces stuff in us. That's toxic.
Right.
If there are people who you don't know, never will meet, that will cut up in the media, on social media, and it will produce a reaction in you.
Your whole day jacked up.
Your whole day is jacked up.
I can't believe it.
I watch this all the time, particularly in sports, where if your team don't win, you can't move on with your day. And the last time I checked, there's no paycheck in the mail for you. You're not getting you don't even have stock in the team in the sense that you're being paid dividends on what's going on. But yet, emotionally, you're so vested that their actions or inactions can shut you down or get you hyped. Right. Yo, that's a problem. That is a problem in human culture. And I'm telling you, if you don't get control of that, your relationships will go to pot. How do I learn my animal types? Oh, that's what's up, Jeff. Go to GlennPBrooksJr.com.
And there's a link on there for the W2J assessment. You can sign up to take the assessment. What'll happen is once you sign up for the assessment, you'll receive a link to actually take it, and you'll also schedule a debrief with Glenn where he'll go over your results. And so you'll get your results actually in the debrief, and he'll go over it in detail with you to explain to you what your animals mean and what your score is and how to best with you understanding that, how to help other people learn how to communicate with you and interact with you.
And we'll probably get into a little bit of that even next week, because knowing what your animal is makes a difference in how you control and how you work on your boundaries. Guys, that's all we got today. Jackson finally calms down at the end of the show. But I think I did good today, babe, by not allowing his activity to send me over the edge. You're sick. You're not doing that well. And I don't think I lost it today. Did I do good today, y'all? And I was hyped up a little bit on some sea moss, right? So between that coffee and my water, today is day 3. Y'all pray for your boy. I got 21 days of no sugar. And today is day 3, and I haven't had any processed or natural sugar at all in the last 3 days. And so I'm telling you, this is a journey. So y'all pray for me. I think I'm doing good. Jeff, I appreciate you. I'm glad you got that. And we look forward to giving you that assessment.
Jackson, say hi to the people.
Jackson, say hey.
Now you're not going to get up here.
Now you won't want to be here. You all wore out. All your running around and things. He is a mess. Y'all be good. At the end of the day, here's what I know to be true. If you cannot get to any place of significance by yourself, because we all need some help. Y'all be good. We'll talk soon.
Have a good Saturday. Bye guys.